And we just dropped the phone, so we're going to have to try and mesh them two videos together. So yeah, I do have already 2 of these locomotives, and I love them. They are great. I think they're made quite well. I didn't realise how rare they are and hard to find, especially with the sound. Now the sound ones have different internals than the ones that are just pure DCC. They're very similar. So you can see back in the day they were £125. And I think I paid somewhere around about that for it. I'll have to look it up. I did pay a fair bit for this in pieces because it did look like it had most of the pieces. So I kind of know a tiny bit about them. So it's good we've got couplers here. We've got one of them Rapido kind. The horrible ones that actually work. Okay, so yeah, this I thought was funny in the listing was it's got these pieces. Now these are not locomotive pieces. These are joiners for sound cables, RCA or something. So useless. Chuck. Ooh, that's not good. What's this piece? I don't recognise that piece either. Could be out of it though. It's weird. It's asymmetric. Don't recognise that. But anyway, we've got 2 motors, which is a start. So when it comes to can we fix it, we will see. I don't know, like there's obviously a reason. Why was it pulled apart? So things that go wrong with these in my experience and everyone else's, I guess, is number 1 is the gears. The gears split on them, on the axles. Alright, let's get out all the bits that we've got and see what we have and why it was taken apart in the first place. So, I had to make old mate an offer that he couldn't refuse on this. So we're opening this at the first time together, seeing what we've got. It's another half a chassis. And this is the shell. So the shell I did notice already was missing the sand box on these. It's on the side, that pentagonal thing there. And because in the original, in the real loco, sand was getting in to all the machinery inside of them. So they put the external sand box. So let's have a look at this. No nose. There it goes. And we're missing the windscreen. Alright, so there's no windscreen in glass in the windows. We're missing a handrail. It's got this handrail here. This little one on an angle. You're meant to pull it out of the cab before you take it off, so somebody's broken that one. And also on this side here. Hey, there you go, that's something interesting. So it's still got them. So that's fine. But this one's number 6940, which I believe, I don't know everything about these locos, but I think there was only 40 of these locomotives made and they started at 6900. So this one would be the very last locomotive made. Now it's got a little antenna here and it appears to be bent quite badly, but I'm just looking at it and it looks like the paint's scraped off back to metal. So it looks like it's made of metal, because if that was plastic, that would just snap if I straightened it. But anyhow, so that's that. We're also missing the handrail, grab rail thing that goes down from the cab there. The one on this side's still there, so can poke that back in. The front handrails are there, missing a little bit of paint, especially on the left-hand side. A little bit of paint off on the rain drip guard shield, sun shield thing there, a bit of paint off here and along there, so it's definitely not mint condition, but that's fine. Didn't expect it to be mint condition, because have a go at the state of it. So we'll put that aside now in the tray. Cab looks, you know, not too bad, and also not sure what goes there between the fans, whether that's horns, and if so, those are missing, so that's fine. Ooh. Okay. Alright, so here's the half a chassis that we just pulled out as well. Now it's got these are lights. little thing, and they're not meant to be like that. But anyway, at least we got the light. It has no wires, but we've got a rear light there. Okay, so this piece, little square piece with a hole, this goes into the sides of the chassis. You can see in the other half there's one there, and it goes in like that, and that keeps the two metal parts of the chassis separated. So we do have a few screws, which is good. We'll just undo that. We've got a screw here at the front. However, whoever pulled this locomotive apart did not undo this screw, and it has some, let's get some chipboard still around it. So I imagine that'll be the light. Maybe not that light at the back. There is a light at the front. Is that this one? Yep, and you can see that that's broken. It's only got the one hole there. So one side's a screw hole, and the other side is just like a lug, a stick over the thing. So they've pulled it apart and broken the screw hole side out of it. However, that should not be a problem, and it should be okay to mount in backwards, provided we put the wiring on, because it's wired both sides. It's not actually getting power through the chip, I do not believe. And then, yeah, the rear light, I don't know, I guess let's have a quick look. It's got holes for wires. God, this is a terrible video. So, do a bit of that. How's that? There we go. So there is holes there for wires, but does it pick up underneath? No. So that needs to be soldered on. So that's cool. That's all good. And let's have a look in here. Let's see if we've got the bogies and what's going on with them. Now, I do actually have spare motors if the motors are burned out. Ew, why is that sticky? What just stuck to me? We'll give this all a good clean, but I don't know if you can see or not, but all four wheels are turning. It's a bit gummed up. You can see where the pickup for the power transfers into the chassis is this piece right here. This copper tag, it's a little bent, but not too badly. And then if we have a look at the gears, it's kind of hard to see, so we can take off the the bogie frame, or what you call it. So we're just going to pry it from the end like this until it pops off. Okay, there it goes. And it can't really put it on the wrong way because you can see it's got the slots down one side for the gears. Keep that screw. So once we get inside here, to make it easier, we can pop the worm gear out. Okay, like that, and we do not want to lose the brass bush off the end. Alright, but we'll clean all that and grease it before we put it back together, so we'll put that in the tray. Alright, and now what we have should free spool, right? Free spool, I don't know if spool's the word, and we can feel if there's any tight spots, and if there is, that'll be a cracked gear, and that'll probably be why it got pulled apart in the first place. And it feels like this one here has a tight spot and a crack, and you're not going to be able to see it because I can barely see it, but that one there looks to be cracked. So we'll just pop that wheel set out. We'll spin the rest of them, even though it's not really going to tell, and I expect well more than one to be cracked, and there's also some pus and shmoo in there, of course, as there would be, but that's fine. So that one feels okay. However, I think I can just barely see a crack. Like, they're almost impossible to see. Yep, I can feel it there with the edge of the screwdriver. So that one's split. So we'll pop it out as well. Alright, let's go have a look at these ones. This one I think I can see a split in it. I can feel it. Maybe it's a casting line in the injection molding, but I go to turn this wheel set, and not only is it not turning, like the wheels are spinning, but the gears aren't, right? So that one's definitely split. They're probably all split. So I'm going to have to get the 3D printed gears and put them on here. And that one there also looks to be split, honestly, which is a shame. You can just feel it with a screwdriver just right there. And look, I can put that little screwdriver into the split and twist it. And yep, so all 4 of these wheel sets on this side are split, or the gears, which is a shame. But it is what it is. Usually these gears here, I think they're not too bad. And the same as this one right here that runs up to the worm. I'll just have a quick look at it, but it looks to be alright. So there you go. It's got the split gears problem, hence why it was pulled apart. So we'll fix that up. Let's have a look at the second bogey. Both bogies on these, I believe, are the same. Front to back. You want to make sure that you got the dog bone drive shaft piece, which is there on both of these. I saw that on the eBay listing. As I go to spin this now, you can feel it binding up right there. So this will have multiple cracked gears as well. The other thing that you want to check on these bogies is that look at that, this metal pickup's been bent by somebody trying to assemble it incorrectly. So we'll fix that up later, but you want to make sure that they're tucked in behind the wheels as well, the little 4 bits down each side. So we'll pop the worm gear out just by gently, like you can see, no pressure, just popping that under there, pop, pop. Okay, we don't want to lose the brass bushes, but we do want to check that they spin, which is good, so they're not seized. Put that in the tray. So now these wheels should spin, and they don't. Okay. Also, if you want to change the couplers, you can do that at any time. The screws for that is under the bottom just there. So we're going to pop the bogie side frames off again. Got the tiny screwdriver, you can use a knife even. And we want to get it just in there at the back, and we're just going to pop it over this here tab triangle piece, just like that there. That should pop off. Have a look at that, it's not cracked or anything, that's good. So we got some wins and some, I wouldn't call them losses, but you know, could be betters. Alright, this first one's cracked, can see it right there. Not sure if you're going to be able to. I highly doubt it, because it's minute and it's greasy and whatnot. But when it cracks, it opens up the gear tooth, so you can just see it right where the light is there on this first wheel set. See it right there. Crack. All right, so that's that one. Second one looks alright. We'll pull this first one out. So all of the wheel sets and the gears are the same. So now we'll see how it goes. And yeah, no, still not spinning freely. So this last one, number 4, it's badly cracked. You probably will be able to see this one, if I can get it focused properly. Come on, there we go. Rightio. Yeah, you look at that. You can see all the way through to the axle. Stay in focus, you bastard. Anyway, you can see it right there, look. Should be able to snap that whole gear in half, nearly. Maybe. We'll pull that one out. And yeah, so when it splits the gear, it changes your gear mesh. So it's still not spinning freely with only 2 wheel sets left. This one's split, so it looks like all of them are going to be split. And that's still not, it spins freely, but look how badly that one's split, can you see? Just there, look. You can see all the way through to the shiny axle. That one's badly, badly split, look. So that'll stop it from running, and that'll be why somebody's pulled it apart. Okay, so here's the power pickups we were saying about. We don't want to damage these at all, although we already just did. We've just damaged that one. It's got 4 little tags along the side there, and they run on the back of the wheel. And then you've got this tag at the top, and that runs onto the chassis. So we'll fix all of that up. We'll just have a look at these gears. But as far as I know, these ones don't really have any problems. But anyway, we've got a resin 3D printer, so we will resin 3D print some gears for this. So yeah, there you go. That's how you strip and inspect the DDA40X or DD40AX from Bachmann. Looks to be we're going to be missing a rubber black insulator piece from there as well. So the speaker lives in the fuel tank down here. So we'll need to strip the ends of these wires. There's no point pulling it out, there's nothing in there, it's just a speaker. The non-sound version is slightly different to this. The sound version is quite easy to bypass the DCC, so this will be the, is that the decoder? Nah. Maybe it hasn't got the decoder in here. Is the decoder missing? What's this thing I'm holding? Is that a decoder? It might be. I don't honestly know. I'll have to have a look at my other ones, but the M plus is or M1 plus motor 1, motor 2 is over this side. And then this here, this is where the power comes into it. Yeah, I don't think this is the decoder. This is just a splitter. So it looks like I didn't get a decoder with it, which is a shame because that's money that you need. All right, there's a light that's all broken off, and then you got this here, which is the flashing light on the roof, and also some other light there. So we'll get all that hooked back up. But yeah, the good thing about these, right, the sound version versus the non-sound, is the sound version has like these black clips. So you can see here motor plus, motor minus. So all you got to do is push these clips off like that, and you can see there's still a little bit of wire left through there. You don't actually have to solder, you can just get your stripped wire, okay, and you poke it through the hole like that, and then you can put this black clip thing back on, and it's easy as that, hooking stuff back up onto this board. It's awesome, right, like that, bus, done, if it did it properly. But anyway, so we'll check it out. We'll make sure that's not too curved lengthways and broken. We don't know who's pulled this apart or why, but we'll assume that it's for the cracked gears. And this other chassis here, it appears to be okay. So the two motors, it's a lot of fun hooking wires up to these motors because they are so small. We got twin flywheels, and then we've also got the universal drive cups. So we'll get all those cleaned up, oiled, but they're going to be alright. Now I also do have spare motors and I sell them. I got an eBay store. If you want one, type in the comments if you need motors or gears for your DD40AX, let me know. But anyway, I just want to sort of show you what's inside of these if you've never pulled one apart. It's nothing to be afraid of. And yeah. So there is actually pieces missing, right? So there's motor mounts for these, and they go into these holes. There's 2 small holes on the end of this motor, and it's just a square bit of yellow plastic, and it sits right here. So we've got that missing, so we're gonna have to make that to be able to mount the motors back into the chassis. So that sucks actually. But anyway, we'll get on Tinkercad and we'll draw that up, because yeah, otherwise the motor rubs into the chassis frames in there like that, and that's no good because it's not electrically isolated. So yeah, we'll have to make and 3D print that. And then this motor here is going to go in there, and we'll take that rear light off the chassis before we lose it. And put that on there. So we'll have to make that. We'll have to make a little spacer. Otherwise, not too bad. Not too bad. Slightly worse than we were thinking. You know what this might be? This might go up inside the cab in the ceiling to like black out the lights from up in there. That's what it looks like from the number board light. That's exactly what that looks like. So that's going to live up in there. Alright, so that's cool. Very good. Alright, we're getting somewhere. That'll be the end of this video, because there's not much more we can do till we want to put new gears on these wheels. Wires on these motors. We'll do a separate video on the rebuilding of it. That there's just the unboxing and stripping and accounting for parts. What's this broken piece? That looks like something unrelated that somebody's cut with some snips. But we'll keep it for now until we know what we're doing with it. And yeah, this thing here doesn't look like a decoder. I'm not super duper familiar with them. I haven't really pulled them apart all that much, the sound version, except for to bypass the decoder anyway. So I run DC on my layout, so I'm not really that fussed about the decoder. So I just run the motors directly to the chip, which is good. You can see here, copyright 2013, so the year's now 2026, so these are already 13 years old. So they're a bit of a vintage. Love a good bit of a vintage. Put that away, we'll put the speaker away. We'll just assume that all works, because it's quite simple. Now, to get the wheels apart, to change the gears, so just to show you where they are broken. Alright, easy to get off. You can just twist and snap them in half. You might have the tiniest bit of luck if you just put some super glue in there and squeeze them back together, but not really. You really won't. And the reason why is, see here where that split is? It's now widened out that particular tooth. It's wider than all the others, so it doesn't mesh properly, and it won't spin, and it'll actually sit there and it'll burn out your motors or your decoder. So I've had that happen on one of my other ones. So yeah, you got to fix them. So once you do that, to get the wheels off, I think you can just do it with your fingers if you're strong. Or you get your little pliers. Okay, like that. Hold the axle Don't think it really matters which side. That's a bit sharp on my fingy, so I'm going to use a bit of shirt and just grab it and twist and pull. And that's actually not what you want, because what's happened there is the wheel just came off from the plastic insulator thing. So the axle on these is neutral. Oops, it's not negative or positive, so you don't want to lose that. So we'll put that back into the steel wheel, that insulator piece. Quite finicky and fiddly. Get it back in there before we lose it. Oh, come on. There it goes. Okay, so that's it's back in there. So now we just got to put the gears on. Alright, so here's a little bag of gears and a dead motor. So I'm not throwing it out, but it's pretty dead. Oops, so there's one, and it's in grey resin. So I bought these on eBay from a person called Petey's 3D Printed Parts here in Australia. Shout out to Petey. They're quite expensive. It's like $26 or something for 8 of them. And look at them. They're made of nothing. But they're very nice. So that one has actually a small bit of support right there. But other than that, yeah, I've used them before and they work great. Look at it, tiny little gear, but that's good. So we're going to put that on. So you just got to be careful when you're buying the gears for these, because there obviously is more than one DDA40X. From Bachmann, there's actually 3 kinds. And we need the one for the DCC style, of course. So they're not the earlier style. They also get the cracked gears. So we're just going to not squeeze that, but support it. It's definitely not the best way. I forget how I did it previously. It kind of feels like I'm going to poke an axle into me thumb doing it like this, honestly. So I might just put them down on the table, and we're going to just press. Oh, look at it, goes on lovely. Okay, a little bit further till you go too far like that. Bugger. That actually sucks. Yeah. Let's see if just need a knife. Okay, so now we're going to try and get the gear to slide back slightly towards the middle without wrecking everything. Without slicing our fingers. It's quite a fiddly little job, it's not too bad. Alright, be better off if you had the right tools ready and you knew what you were doing. But okay, I think we're getting there. It just gets like that, doesn't it? Something like that. Let's have a look at the old ones. So these gears actually are slightly thinner than the original. But as far as being in line, that's where it needs to be. So then we can put the wheel back on. And then we'll need to check that they're engaged. Basically, I've got a set of pliers, and I don't think it's these ones. No, it's not these ones. So I've got these pliers here, right? These are another Leatherman. This is Leatherman Super Tool 300, it says on there. And pretty much the width of it, of the jaw, just so happens to be perfect end gauge, back-to-back wheel gauge. Look, it's unbelievable. Might be a micron in it. But pretty much, I just put that in there. Alright. And I'll squash it. And that'll go on. And once it won't go on anymore, that'll be good to run. So there you go, that's one. 8 to go. Like I said, 3D printed gear. And yeah, quite annoying that this happens, but you know, 13 years old, plastic's gonna split. It is what it is, and once you do that, you have yourself a nice running locomotive. So there you go, that's the first episode of fixing Bachmann DD40AX DCC with or without sound. The thing you want to be careful of putting these back in is making sure that this copper tag goes under the wheel like that, right? If it catches on the top of the wheel and bends it, you're up shit creek. So that's on there now. And that spins lovely. Still got that side to side float, which you kind of need because it is 4 axles. If it's to go around a curve, these need to float. But at the full floating width, it's still meshing with the gears, and look, spins lovely. One down, 7 to go. Thank you. Hopefully you've enjoyed the DD40AX with sound rebuilding, unboxing, and Nscalien. So I'm excited to look at this running. We'll make another video for you shortly. Subscribe, smash it up in the comments. I'm just starting this new channel, so hopefully somebody gets some sort of enjoyment from it. If you did, let me know. Thanks and goodbye.